Queen's brave face, Her Majesty looks lost in thought on the way to church in Sandringham with Sophie Wessex, as Prince Philip spends third night in hospital. The Queen appeared to put on a brave face today as she attended church while Prince Philip prepared to spend a third night in hospital. The 93-year-old was accompanied by Prince Edward, his wife Sophie, Countess of Wessex and their 2 children. Philip, 98, was admitted to a private hospital in London on Friday after being flown from Norfolk in a helicopter. Buckingham Palace will only say it was because of a pre-existing condition. Royal aides have stressed he was not taken in as an emergency and walked in unaided, but it has prompted fears for his health. The Mail understands that he has grown increasingly frail in recent months and was extremely poorly a week or so ago with a flu-like virus. On Friday, a spokesman said he was expected to stay at King Edward VII's hospital in Marylebone for a few days, but it is not clear if he will be discharged in time for Christmas. Today the Queen smiled and waved to a crowd of around 250 well-wishers as she arrived by car at St. Mary Magdalene Church on her 20,000-acre estate at Sandringham, Norfolk, with Edward, Sophie, Lady Louise, 16, and 12-year-old James, Viscount Severn. A member of the crowd asked Edward, 55, how his father was after he stepped out of the Queen's Bentley. He failed to respond, although he did smile at well-wishers as he walked into the 16th-century church. The service, led by Sandringham rector the Reverend Jonathan Riviere, was kept low-key and, in an unusual move, was not broadcast on loudspeakers outside the church. It is believed that worshippers sang carols and joined in prayers for Philip and others in ill health. The Queen, wearing a dark green coat with matching hat and black gloves, emerged after the 50-minute service, chatting to the rector. She briefly waved before getting into the back of her car. Eleanor Brown Ahern, 37 of Walsoken, Cambridgeshire, said, "We got a wave from her. She definitely looked in good spirits. She looked remarkably well considering what she has got going on at home. She looked stunning as always and the green outfit really suited her. I am always amazed at how mobile she is. She literally jumped out of the car and was upright straight away." Mandy Gent, 44, of Long Sutton, Lincolnshire, added, "The fact that she waved at people is a good sign about Philip's health. It shows that she is just carrying on as normal. The whole message we are being sent is that it is business as usual and we should not be too concerned. I just hope he makes it back in time for Christmas Day." Sophie, patron of the London College of Fashion, wore deep pink trousers, a cream shawl neck coat and a wide-brimmed hat with leopard print detailing. The palace said Philip was admitted to hospital on Friday for observation and treatment in relation to a pre-existing condition. It added, "The admission is a precautionary measure on the advice of His Royal Highness's doctor." On Saturday, the Mail revealed that he was driven from Sandringham to Rathmarham around 12 miles away, where he boarded a luxury Sikorsky from the Queen's helicopter flight. The helicopter landed 120 miles away, in London, 45 minutes later. He was then driven to the hospital. Other members of the royal family are expected to join the Queen at the estate over the coming days before going to church on Christmas morning. But Prince Harry and wife Meghan are staying in Canada over the festive period. Queen puts on a brave face at Sandringham as Prince Philip stays in London hospital. The Queen kept a stiff upper lip yesterday amid public concern over the health of Prince Philip. The 93-year-old monarch smiled and waved to around 250 onlookers outside St. Mary Magdalene Church on her Sandringham estate in Norfolk. She was driven the few hundred yards to the service as Philip remained at the King Edward VII's hospital in London. The Queen was joined by the Earl and Countess of Wessex and their children, Lady Louise Windsor, 16, and 12-year-old James, Viscount Severn. Unusually, the 50-minute service, led by the rector of Sandringham, Canon Jonathan Riviere, was not broadcast to the crowd outside. But it is thought that worshippers sang carols and joined in prayers for Prince Philip and others who are in ill health. Her Majesty, wearing a bottle green coat and matching hat, stopped to chat to the rector outside before being driven away. Eleanor Brown Ahern, 37, of Walsoken, Norfolk, was among the well-wishers in the crowd. She said, "The Queen definitely looked in good spirits. She looked remarkably well considering what she has got going on at home." And Mandy Gent, 44, of Long Sutton, Links, added, "The fact she waved at people is a good sign about Philip's health. It shows that she is just carrying on as normal. I hope he makes it back in time for Christmas Day." There are clues that Philip's hospital stay is casting a shadow over the royals' festive celebrations. The Queen is believed to have postponed a visit to see horses on her stud farm at Sandringham, which she normally tours soon after arriving from London. In another apparent break from routine, there was no pheasant shoot at the estate on Saturday, despite it being the height of the season. Other members of the clan are expected to join the monarch at Sandringham in the coming days, before making their traditional appearance at church on Christmas Day. It is unclear whether Prince Andrew will be in attendance, and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, who are now in Canada, have already said they will be staying away. But the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge are expected to be at the service with Prince George and Princess Charlotte, who may walk to the church in front of the crowd for the first time. Queen puts on brave face to attend church alone while Prince Philip is in hospital. Prince Philip remains in hospital for a few days as a precautionary measure and is likely to miss Christmas festivities at the Sandringham estate with the rest of the royal family. The Queen arrived for Sandringham Estate's annual Christmas church service alone today after Prince Philip was kept in hospital for a second night. The royal occasion is held at the St. Mary Magdalene Church in Sandringham in Norfolk. The Duke of Edinburgh's absence has sparked further rumors he may not spend Christmas with the Queen this year. Philip was admitted to the King Edward VII's hospital in central London for treatment relating to a pre-existing condition on Friday. The 98-year-old suffered flu-like symptoms in recent weeks and had a bad fall that left him bed-stricken for a few days. His extended stay at the hospital is reportedly for precautionary measures. It is thought to have ruled him out of the royal family's Christmas plans. Royal experts alleged Prince Philip would quite like to spend Christmas alone in hospital away from the busyness of the family, but if he can return to Sandringham for the festivities, then he will. A royal source said, "The Duke had a bad fall and was confined to bed for a couple of days. He didn't break anything, but it gave everyone a scare. He suffers from gout which makes him more irritable and he lost his appetite. Those around him were worried as he'd stopped eating and didn't want to go out. But he's a 98-year-old man and this is all very common at this age. He's been in good health generally but missed the Queen's Christmas lunch at Buckingham Palace on Wednesday for the first time. And for the first time in what feels like centuries he won't be seen shooting anywhere this year, not even on the Sandringham estate, which is a great shame." Meanwhile, the monarch did not cancel her own festive plans to be by his bedside and traveled to Norfolk from Buckingham Palace via train to celebrate Christmas on the Sandringham estate. This morning she was photographed arriving at church sporting a stylish winter outfit, including a holly fur coat and matching hat, accessorized with a large emerald brooch. The Queen was seen smiling from the back of a car shared with Sophie, Countess of Wessex, the wife of Her Majesty's youngest son, Prince Edward. The couple's children, Lady Louise Windsor and James, Viscount Severn, also attended the church and will spend Christmas Day at Sandringham House with other senior royals. On Christmas Day, royal fans will likely get a glimpse of the Queen returning to St. Mary Magdalene Church on Christmas Day in a limousine shortly before 11 a.m. Younger family members will set off on the half-mile walk from the house to the church.